Well, I feel like that's just a perfect, like, it just brings what the Nuggets are all about right now. Like,
And the NBA.
Man, I'm hopeful for the Nuggets. Like, we have the best player in the NBA, but at the same time, we're kind of mired in this, like, we're not going to get any better. This is who we are. And maybe who we are is not good enough. And, the times are changing a little bit. That's just the Nuggets at this point in time. But I don't know if there's any easy fix, gentlemen. And today, the Bros on Nuggs hope to explore this idea. If the times really are changing, well, how are they going to change? And is there an easy way out, or are we like stuck in this mediocrity right now that, like,
how do we get back to playing Nuggets basketball?
I mean, I don't know. I think that's a real question. I think there's a lot of elements to it that make it super difficult. But welcome to Bros on Nuggs. It's been a long time. We are happy to be back with you, though we aren't happy with the result of tonight's Nuggets game. They go down to the Cavs, which my friend Kyle is always happy about. They've lost twice to the Cavs this year.
Team's gotten better. I remember the last time we had Kyle on the show, they weren't too good.
I know. Maybe we need to bring him back so that they are not good again.
Talk his stuff and be like, hey, we're good now.
Mm-hmm. So, but we're going to be all right. Lots to talk about. It's been a long time, but really, we got to focus on if is there an easy way out for us?
I mean, the frustration's mounting, right? We can see that with Jokic too. Tim's been sharing, those articles about how his reactions on the court, and then I can't remember after what game, but we were playing bad, and he said, "Hey, where I come from, you play this bad, your pay gets docked. Maybe that's what we need to do."
Mm-hmm.
Said that about the team in general. It's hard. The team is not the same as it has been the past couple of years. Free agency and money and those things change that as the times they are changing. But I don't know. You can tell it's weighing on Mike Malone too. We don't play defense. Maybe we haven't in the last year or so anyway. We did when we won a championship. But what? I think we allowed 150 tonight. And our perimeter defense is not good. I knew that would be affected when we lost KCP. I still think we have good young defenders in Watson and Brown. But, I mean, let's be honest, to Michael Porter Jr., even Jokic, Murray, they're not good defenders, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Jokic can get some steals and play up and roll smart.
He has active hands.
He's not a terrible defender, but he's also not elite. I don't know, man. It's hard too because a couple weeks ago Malone was talking about if I got to coach effort, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
so I should don't have to. That's the NBA, man. Shouldn't have to coach effort.
Yeah,
I mean that's a problem across all of NBA.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Effort.
Yeah, and no excuses. It's your job. You get paid millions of dollars for it. It's a long season, the NBA is. You play a lot of games, and the Nuggets just are stuck in a little, what is it, 7 games, or is it 5 games in 7 days?
Yeah, 5 games in 7 days.
I mean, we got to remember that you got to put things into perspective here, and sometimes that's difficult, especially when you lose 2 in a row, one of them being at home against the Cavs, who you really want to beat. But they're a good Eastern Conference team. We destroyed the Suns 2 games ago, like absolutely demolished them, and played them tough. I felt like on Christmas Eve,
yeah,
we just did, or Christmas Day, but we didn't score enough. Actually, I thought our defense that game was okay. We gave up 110. I mean, usually you're saying if the Nuggets give up 110, we're winning.
We'd win that game. Yeah.
We're winning 114 to 110 or something, and but we weren't getting any scoring. I don't know. Sometimes you got to keep things in perspective, but that's what makes this tough this year is like you try to put things into perspective, and then the same old seems to be happening. Aaron Gordon out.
Again.
That hurts.
I mean, we're not going to win anything without him. Like, let's just be real. Aaron Gordon is perhaps the spiritual leader of our team and the glue guy. Let me just say it. He might be the glue guy of our team. He's the energy effort dude. And he's the only guy other than Jokic that brings any sort of physical toughness. I don't think we have another player. I mean, you could say Christian Brown does, but you could say Julian Strawther does, but he's not smart about it. But I mean, when you're missing Aaron Gordon, you're missing a big, big chunk of who the Nuggets identity is. So, but that's a part of it, man. And that's part of the beef I think we can take up with the Nuggets right now and with management is you knew your starting five wasn't going to be perfect the whole year, and you brought in zero
horrible
to help. So
horrible.
There's nothing to help, man. I mean,
You're right. Sarge isn't even playing.
No, and that's on me. Like I thought I mean, it's not on me. I thought Sarge would be a good addition.
It was a decent pickup too.
Yeah. And he's proven not to be. Maybe because
Najee doesn't even play, and that contract's terrible too.
But we don't play these guys either, which is another thing. Like, and this is a classic Michael Malone issue. Is like he's only going to play the guys that he likes, which is fine. That's the coach has the right to do that. But I'm sure that's probably where him and Booth have some issues. Like, hey, I got you, Saric, man. You got to at least give him a shot. But Mike Malone's like, I gave him a shot. I gave him 5 games. He sucked. Like, we're not going to do it.
Right.
And in practice, he's not the dude. So I don't know. I will tell you one thing. I actually like Hunter, and I like Pickett. And I wish they got just a little more role in minutes, just because their energy. But that's neither here nor there. We're still stuck. We're stuck. Feels like we're stuck.
We're very stuck.
Feels like we're driving stick shift and we're in neutral on a hill.
Grinding those gears.
I found it exciting when we were actually not that any of them were ever going to happen, but I found it exciting when we were starting to have our name thrown out there for some trades.
Yeah,
because it kind of made me feel like, okay, here we're actually going to try to support Jokic a little bit more. Obviously you don't want to give up Michael Porter Jr., even though he's one of those guys who has a giant contract, and he's playing well this year, but he's not paying up to what we're paying him, and nor is Jamal. Neither of those two guys are playing up to how much we're paying them, and they need to step it up because what we're paying them is should be a second, not necessarily a third, but one of those two guys should at least be in the talk for an all-star.
Right.
And neither of those guys are going to end up being in the all-star game. So we're pretty much paying 2 above average players superstar salaries, and that really hurts, and it sucks because that means we're not going to be able to bring in another superstar, which is fine. We have some young talent. You have Saric on the bench, people who aren't getting play time. Fill those names out and see if you can bring in some people to help off the bench. I mean, that's really been our issue. Breaking up the starting lineup more by getting rid of MPJ. I don't think that's the answer. He was the one that was tied to a lot of those trades that I heard and sent to you guys. And like I said, he's having a pretty good year. He's just not living up to his contract, in my eyes. And I think if there's a trade out there, even if we have to give up Strawther or some of these younger guys and get a couple of veteran people to come off the bench, I think that goes a long ways to where we're going to be and where we're trying to be again than these young guys who play sporadic minutes, because they're never going to get the flow. Like if you don't play enough, you're never like truly, you never truly have the flow. Look at the Broncos running backs. They never give one enough time to really get going. And that's kind of the same thing, in my opinion, with our bench, is we just kind of stick to the same core guys.
Well, I think you bring up an important question. Not that you meant to, but I think you're onto something. And the question has to be asked: is Julian Strawther a dude? I mean, is he worth holding on to? Because right now he is trade potential. He's trade bait. You've got a young guy who can fill it up a little bit.
Right.
He will try. He's trying. Mm-hmm. Julian Strawther tries really hard. But he's not athletic enough, right?
Not consistent.
He's not consistent enough, but that's partly due because of he's not athletic enough.
Yeah.
Like he wants to defend really well, but he's always a step slow, a dollar short. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wants to be there, but he's not there. So I need to know what you guys think. Like, is that a guy we need? Or is he a guy that you can use as a trade piece? Here, you get Julian Strother, you get Hunter Tyson, and you get Zeke, because we have to offload a contract, and you get a trade, like a pick in the future for 2 dudes. Give me 2 veterans. You know, there's some trades out there that have been circulating that I was super intrigued about.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Nets trade idea,
Cam Johnson
and Finney Smith for Zeke, but you got to give up MPJ, and that's part of the problem. Is like,
well, I think you lost a lot more than we realized when we lost KCP.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, you had your D guy, but also you had another glue guy.
You're right.
You had another glue guy. You had another guy that, like, if you know, Gordon goes down, you still had that glue guy out on the floor. I mean, it's getting bad that Jokic, who's very mild mannered, is starting to get that physically frustrated on the court, and that's going to present issues in my eyes of keeping him around when his next contract comes up. If we don't help him out, even though he says he wants to be here his whole career, and every part of me wants to believe that. But if he gets that upset and it continues down this path, and we're not bringing in help, and we're just drafting young, and we're thinking drafting young is going to be the right way to support him, I think we're going to have some bigger issues. I think Calvin Booth sucks.
I'm worried about him retiring early more than anything else.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'd lose him still, you know.
Right. Just being like, I don't want to play.
Like F this. I've won MVPs. I'm a billionaire. Maybe not, but I'm multi-millionaire.
Right.
I just really think that, like, you have to get in this, and you have to get into the mindset. All right, I drafted some good young guys that would be great for our program moving forward, but I need to think now. I need to support Jokic. I need to support the best player in basketball.
What do you guys think? And I think I already know Tim's opinion on this, but I saw this stat that said when Westbrook starts, we're like 6-1. When Jamal starts, we're 11-11.
I saw that.
And I was all like, I don't know if that means like Westbrook should start and Jamal should come off the bench.
Well, that yeah.
Or that's just like some Westbrook fan being like, look at this stat.
Well, no.
Not to say there's not some validity to that, but I don't think that's necessarily something we should do. But maybe, hey, if you got to shake it up. I don't know if that's the best thing to do. That would really fuck up Jamal Murray's psyche.
Psyche's already.
That's the problem.
Maybe you need to.
No, this is the problem with Jamal, is his psyche and his toughness, and
right.
When he's going, he's going. When he's not, he's not. I'm actually really pleased with the way Jamal's been playing the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, he's really been playing well lately.
But it hasn't equated to wins on our end. That stat is an interesting stat. I am not a huge fan of Westbrook because he turns the ball over way too much.
Oh, God, and he shoots it. Just don't shoot.
But I am a huge fan of Westbrook in that he defends.
He has active hands.
Oh, he is such a pest defensively.
Right.
And he attacks the basket. And though he does turn the ball over, he honestly is trying to get his teammates the ball. He's not a super selfish player.
No.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he wants to get his teammates the ball. He made this incredible pass on Christmas Day where he drove to the middle and saw some sliver of an opening in the lane to Christian Brown. And I was just like, holy cow, what an amazing – I don't know if it's luck or if he's actually seeing that. You know what I mean? But there's a reason he's a triple-double guy. Like, I mean, he's probably seeing it. So, but he also turns the ball over a lot because he's seeing things that other people. He's also that's not fair. He turns the ball over way too much. I'm sorry.
He can't shoot.
Yes, he cannot shoot.
Like, if it's not a layup, that man should not be taking a basketball shot. Like, he should just not. Like, they leave him wide open on the threes. Like, it's not even worth holding your breath. Like, it's just like, oh Jesus, please. He can't even shoot from 15 feet. He's annoying, and I'd rather have an inconsistent.
He's annoying.
I'd rather have an inconsistent Jamal start and have Westbrook come in off the bench because West is still going to get his time with Jokic and the other starters. But he's a liability.
I don't want to add to.
We got a lot of liabilities.
I don't want to add to what Will just said with that stat, but the Suns game prior to Christmas Day, when Jamal was out with an ankle injury,
That's the one we won,
where we crushed them,
Mhm.
and Russell started, and Jaden Pickett was the backup, and Jaden Pickett had 8 points, 8 assists, and like 5 rebounds, and was rolling that, like he was controlling that second unit as a point guard. Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have signed Jamal.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
no.
we need that Monte.
Yeah, the Monte sort of
The
sturdy
Monte
guy.
is the kind of sturdy guy that Jalen might be,
But I've always been a fan of Pickett. I said this on the show 2 years ago. I thought when we drafted him, he would be the best of that draft class, and I'm still holding to that. But man, I don't know, man. It's tough right now. It's hard being a Nuggets fan right now. The expectations rose so much with that championship team, but we play so many close games. You know what I mean? Like, and even our wins most of the time are close. It's just we've never been super dominant.
Those close
Other
games-
than that Miami series in the finals, we aren't like a super dominant.
right?
We never were a super dominant team. We were a team that did all the little things right. And in the NBA, and then you had a superstar in the NBA that can do it. But like, people are getting passed by. Jamal Murray is not, since I told this to Liz 2 nights ago, he's not the same guy since the injury.
Mm-mm.
The athleticism's gone. And what can you still do? You can still shoot, no doubt.
Right.
But Jamal was never a great point guard to begin with, right? He worked a good 2-man game with Jokic, but he was never a good point guard. He was always meant to be a 2. And I think Malone is trying to work him in as a 2 now. And it's super hard on Jamal because the ball's not in his hands, right?
Right.
But you see him as a 2 with Westbrook. And I actually like that. If Jamal can like take a deep breath and be like, all right, I can be a 2. I can be a 2. You know what I mean? And that benefits us. I can do that. Jamal's lost athleticism. He's no longer the dunk on you, Jamal. You know what I mean? And if you're not that, what do? You were never a good defender. You've always made questionable decisions. Did you guys see where he was out in like New York and missed a game in Atlanta?
Yeah, he went to some MMA.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
You're getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball.
Yeah. Or at least be there with your team. Even if you're injured, like you got to be there with your team, man.
We continue to not be able to figure out the non-Jokic minutes too. That's like just the frustrating thing is like, even when we're playing well, say we're up by 12 or something, and Jokic goes out at the end of the third quarter, you're just like, hope we're still up by 3.
Maybe.
And then you just hope that Jokic can be Jokic when he comes back in. But like sometimes I'm sure on Jokic's and he's like, I gotta go in and fucking save the team again. Because they can't play without me. Like that's where the MVP talk continues to just rise. It's like, dude, how good we are with him versus how good we are without him. It's night and day, man. And that's what's frustrating. And maybe, and that's what kind of broke my heart about the Holmes injury, because I thought this, while still a rookie, I thought this guy could be one of those pieces in the front court.
Yeah, without ever seeing him play in the NBA,
to be able to be like, oh, okay, we got another one.
Right.
Like to be able to looks like he can pick and pop, pick and roll. Like he's a good defender. He's one of the best shot blockers in college basketball.
Right.
We need a shot blocker.
Yeah.
Like he checked a lot of boxes, so I was excited to see him. And then
I forget, was it his knee or his Achilles?
His Achilles.
Of course, Achilles shit in summer league.
Yeah.
His first game playing great too.
Yeah.
He was playing well.
Yeah. I know it's one game, but
It might take some of his athleticism.
Well, yeah. You never know. When you're that young, maybe. But the Achilles, dude, that's a whole nother ball game. I remember seeing Dad tear his Achilles in a pickup basketball game for charity.
Yeah,
in the North Gym
to get money for the play park.
Yeah.
Tore his Achilles playing in the play.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
Oh yeah, in like an adult
Yeah.
like charity game in the North Gym at the high school. I just remember him screaming. I'm like, oh God. As like a 12-year-old, I'm like, what the? Oh my God. But he recovered. If dad can recover, so can
he was still as explosive as ever.
He started lifting a lot more,
right,
and not running as much. I remember that. But yeah, I don't know what to do with the Nuggs other than blow it up. I mean, seriously, what do we do? Like, no one's going to take Jamal's contract. No one's going to take MPJ's contract. Someone might take that.
Well, because MPJ's his is the first one to be up.
No one's going to take Zeke's contract. We were in negotiations with Chicago for a trade with Levine, and they're like, we're not taking Zeke.
Right.
Yeah. What else you got? Well, are we willing to part with? Apparently, we're not willing to part with Strother or Christian Brown. You know what I mean? Like, and so we're stuck. That's where we are. Is we're stuck, and that's part of the problem. You want something to happen, like you want an Aaron Gordon trade.
You're not going to get one of those big ones.
You're not going to get anything, man.
You gotta be able to work something small with a really crappy team. Get rid of a couple of your young guys to give them hope and give them a draft pick and get their
get over your draft capital too. Trade some of your draft capital.
We don't have a lot of draft capital.
I know, but trade we don't.
You have enough to get a disgruntled
pick,
veteran who wants to play on a good team and actually try to win and take him off a shitty team.
Were you guys interested at all in that Wizards trade that was floating out there where we got Poole and Valanciunas?
No. I like Valanciunas, but I don't want Poole.
That was intriguing.
Poole would be like a backup too.
Well, then you got to trade Strother. Then, and that's gonna screw with Westbrook, but maybe then you start Westbrook. I don't know. I like the Brandon Ingram one.
Yeah, but who are we giving up in that?
MPJ
for Ingram's feels like the exact same player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it feels like...
I don't know. I think Ingram's probably a better scorer.
Probably a better scorer, but...
Not a better rebounder, though.
I mean, does he fit in the same way? I would like Brandon Ingram. I just don't want to...
Hey, it's hard to say with Bogdanovich, but we talked about Bogdanovich and...
Which Bogdanovich?
And Daniel Hunter. Bogdan.
Bogdanovich.
Yeah, not Bojan.
Not Bojan Bogdan.
No, Bogdan from
Atlanta. Okay. That Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich.
Bojan Bogdan.
Bojan?
Big Dong Bogdanovich.
Did you see that I said? the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Like, way to go, ESPN. That was hilarious.
That was funny. Yeah, I just don't know what happens. Someone needs to give me some sort of... I'm hopeful always. Like, I feel like we get too intense about the Nuggets and how bad they are. I will always remember struggling through the worst season in Nuggets history.
Yeah, that's what you try to remind yourself when you get all the negative Nancy texts from me and Tim.
Yeah, but I also get negative. It's not just you two. I also get negative. I just don't know where to go with it at this point. That's the problem. I don't know where to go with it. I need someone to tell me there's hope or there's no hope, or we're just stuck in what we're doing. And if we're stuck in what we're doing, then let me just be hopeful in what we're doing.
Like you said, it's a long season. And we got a ways to go still, so we got some time to figure some things out.
There's got to be something to change. There's got to be something to change, though, right?
You got to trade some of the young guys away and get it. There's some crappy teams out there that someone wants to get.
I know, and maybe Calvin Booth is so hung up on the guys he drafted that he's unwilling to get rid of them. I love Christian Brown. I've said this before. I think he's as good as he's ever going to be. I've said this. Right. So get rid of him. He's as good as he's ever going to be. And he's young, and he's never going to be a good three-point shooter, which is what he could be. His
development arc is
he's
even
done.
As young as he is at his apex.
And he does some cool shit. Like that when he dunks the ball, I'm like, oh, that's fucking sweet. And he'll do some really cool athletic things on defense. And every now and then he'll hit a three, and you're like, oh, he made a three. That's amazing. But like, and then you watch the Cavs tonight, and they got some fool from like some freaking like tiny ass school just chucking threes on us. You know what I mean? Like why don't we have that? Why don't we have any shooting?
I'm sorry,
we have zero shooters.
It really makes me frustrated when we play a team like the Thunder, who just had this plethora of picks. Like when you see like Joe and the Simmons and whoever randomness just fucking knocking down threes on us. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I get so frustrated because we can't shoot.
We don't shoot.
And that team plays defense and shoots. And I'm like, dude, the two things that we're bad at.
I will
shoot and we don't play defense.
I will stick by. Thank you, Aiden, for chiming in. I will stick by the.
Probably right.
I will stick by the stat where if Russell Westbrook shoots 33% or above from three, we win a championship. I'm sticking by that stat.
Yeah, but he won't.
Maybe it turns around somehow.
Sure.
You never know, guys.
Hey,
you never
it's the
know.
NBA. What's your guys' thoughts on the NBA as a whole's ratings taking a plunge?
Well, that's not the Christmas ratings were super high, guys. Did you not see that?
You're right. They did do well.
Well, the in-season tournament is dumb. Now you're trying to compete with the end of college football and NFL, and you're going to have this tournament that's supposed to get the players and the people into it. They were down a bunch, and I mean, just in general, as Will was alluding to, I've actually had a hard time. I've watched the Nuggets quite a bit, but I still had a hard time. I'm usually watching a lot of college basketball this time of year, and I've had a hard time getting into college basketball.
Yeah, what's going on?
And obviously, I'll always follow the Nuggets, and I was getting to a point where I was starting to watch bits and pieces of other NBA games, but I've personally struggled getting into basketball this year outside the Nuggets. And I don't know.
I think it's because we need to play again. You know what I mean? Remind ourselves of like what it's like to play.
Love.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen.
Right?
Could it also be maybe that our favorite college football teams are doing relatively well this year too?
College football teams are doing well.
The Broncos are doing relatively well.
They're going to blow it, but they're doing well.
Yeah, they're not going to make it into the playoffs, are they? They're sure not.
I mean, the Chiefs are going to rest all their guys.
No, they're not.
They just sit there.
The Nuggets need to make a move.
Yes. Okay.
I hope they rest their guys.
Yeah.
Let them rest their guys. Who cares? I hate the Chiefs.
I hate the Chiefs.
Beat the Bengals. Just beat the Bungles tomorrow, and you're good. But
no, it's time. It's time for the Nuggets to really assess.
Then you got to look at your team.
Here's the problem: it can't be a this year thing. You got to think about the next 2 years. And if we have to make a move now to sacrifice now in this season for the next 2 years, I say do it because that is the timetable, right? It's like 2 more years after this.
Okay, here's the thing. And I know we all hate Calvin Booth, or at least Tim and I.
I've said nothing ill of Calvin Booth.
Tim and I don't like him. And it's been nice that we haven't heard any more contract negotiation stuff about it. But if you're not sure, like, because your contract ends this year, you're Calvin Booth.
Yeah.
Does that motivate you more to get something done or less?
Well, I think if you want to be in Denver, it should motivate you to do something. If you don't want to be in Denver and you don't care, then it doesn't motivate you. Maybe he wants out too.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants out.
I think it's complicated in that, like, who are the Cronkies supporting more? Are they more on the side of your management or on the side of your coach? And judging from the way the Cronkies manage things, I think they trust coaches. You know what I mean? Like, I think they trust the people who are with the players every day a little bit more than
watching every game.
Right.
Not just every game, but they're at every practice doing the dirty work.
I think they trust those people just a little more. At least that's my Josh Kroenke feel.
Right.
Yeah, when he's not doing cocaine.
Maybe. Probably.
Does MPJ still do his podcast?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any episodes that are like any mention of it. I wonder if he's talked about the trade stuff.
No, but he had a cool quote. I'll give him MPJ credit. Like in a post conference 2 games ago, they asked him about the trade rumors, and he was like, "I was told that
It's noise.
yeah, it's all noise, but then again, I know better. Like they're
You're not gonna tell me.
Yeah, I thought that was such a cool
Right.
way to be realistic about the way things are going right now. You know, sometimes MPJ surprises me.
If you're giving up MPJ, you got to bring in someone big.
Oh yeah, agree.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gotta be like Levine
or you're bringing in a ton of draft picks. We don't have any good draft picks coming up.
No more drafting.
Well, we have to free up some money somehow.
I understand, but we don't have time to develop.
Not with Jokic.
Not with Jokic. But once Jokic is gone, look what our team is. You see what our team is when Jokic doesn't play?
Yeah.
That's our team when Jokic is gone. So you got to do everything to help that man out.
Good point.
Jeez Louise. Like, look, that's your team without Jokic when he sits on the bench.
So you lose.
So your
game.
motivation should be our window is however long Jokic wants to play. So for that period of time, I'm buying into everything I can do to help him win another championship.
Until we draft the next Jokic.
That'll never happen.
Well,
we drafted like 30 foreigners before we landed Jokic.
Correct.
I'm a little bit of a hypocrite here because I was so like, you know, when it was taking a while to get the Jamal Murray extension done, and I was like, get it fucking done.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing.
And right now it's just kind of like, well, is that going to handicap us too?
That is going to handicap us.
Murray? I'm sure I would love to hear the psychology of when a player who has played well for several years gets that payday and gets that relief of like, I made it. I got that paycheck. I earned that for the next 4 or 5 years. Just like anything in life, right? Where you're like, you get settled into your job and then you don't work hard anymore. You don't have the drive. It's like the Rocky movies. You got to find the motivation again. We need to get Murray into the lab with his dad. Get the Rocky motivation.
Yeah, up in Canada.
Like, get him training in Canada.
Yeah. In the snow, shooting free throws again.
During all-star break. Just like.
He loves MMA. He trains MMA.
Yeah.
But he can barely make it through a basketball game without getting injured.
Yeah, it's so
how's
funny.
that man going to fight MMA?
I don't know.
Like, come on. Like, if you can't make it through a basketball game, good luck being in an octagon with a dude who wants to rip your head off.
I would take 75% of NBA players in their weight class against any MMA person right now.
Right.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I know there's technique and shit.
I'm just saying. Jamal, Jamal
I
gets hurt.
the other way. Like,
No,
Jamal gets hurt playing basketball. How is he going to survive in the world of MMA?
Do you think Jamal could take a guy his size in the MMA?
No.
Like similar weight?
No. He's been training his entire life to play basketball. MMA people are like Matt Smith.
I'm sure there's certain dudes.
They grew up wrestling.
I'm sure there's certain NBA dudes like, and they would know because like, yeah, that dude, like, you don't want to get punched by that.
Do you think Anthony Edwards could take? Well, first of all, there's no one in the weight class, so that's another MMA problem. They're all little people, but just tiny little guys.
Yeah,
but like they're not
like some of the super heavyweights.
They're not like adults, they're just little people. I'm gonna get my ass beat by something.
Yeah. It's a bunch of people that are like Matt Smith.
Yeah,
right.
They grew up wrestling. They're tough. They like to fight with other people. They like to grapple.
They like to wrestle on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray grew up doing push-ups.
It's all red.
Jamal Murray grew up doing push-ups in a snowstorm because he missed free throws. Like, he trained his entire life to play in the NBA.
Yeah. So
I think if he went up against a professional fighter, he'd get his ass kicked.
But how many professional fighters are 6'4"?
It doesn't even matter.
No, I'm just saying. I don't.
Bones Jones or Jones Bones. What was his name? Bones Jones.
Let's throw Murray in a Jake Paul fight. See what happens.
I would love to see that.
Take Murray.
I'd take Murray in that. I'll take just Jake Paul. Get the fuck out of here. Stupid fucking Netflix. God damn it.
We have to acknowledge that 2-game stint Jokic had. where he scored 100 and what did he score? 109 points in 2 games.
In 50,
He did 56 and like 49 or 47.
I thought it was 50-50.
Yeah, triple-double tonight again, boys.
He scored 56 points in 1 game, and then the next game he scored 40-something. It was 100-something in 2 games.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
pretty impressive.
The start of the season was super impressive by him as well. The first, 15
Yeah.
games.
I don't know. I just don't want to see him lose his cool. And,
Well,
I think we're heading that way.
I know. I'm glad you brought that up.
And that worries me because he's a very level-headed gentleman. I guess
now he's got 2
comparatively,
kids.
He's got 2 kids. He loves his wife. He loves his family. He loves his horses.
No, but your level-headedness changes a bit when you have children. Like Jamal Murray's a father now.
Is he?
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Sure as hell ain't acting like one.
He had it.
Yeah, dude, that should motivate you.
I'm just saying he's a father now, recent. So I think
It should.
I think they're all kind of growing together, and maybe it's just a matter of time because, they're all experiencing something new. Jamal Murray is a recent father, in the past 2 months. He's got a baby at home. But can I go back to your Jokic point?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it. Sure.
I have a problem with Jokic's body language.
As a leader?
Yeah, I think in trying to make him someone who he's not, now we've made him too histrionic and too you guys all suck. You know what I mean? That's not who he is. He is a leader by example and an incorporator of other people and bring people in and let's do this together. And maybe we've tried too hard, and this could be part of Michael Malone's fault.
And maybe the media.
It may be the media. We've tried too hard to turn him into you got to be better. You got to be better to help me. But that's not what his basketball is all about. He's about helping everyone else. And so I do have a problem with his body language because I don't think that's who he really is. And it takes him out of his game, just like when he was young. Do you remember when he was young and he used to get super frustrated? And we were like, dude, now you're not going to play anymore. You're not going to be good anymore.
Right.
And he's doing the same shit this year. He's got to get back to I'm the greatest. I'm going to make all my teammates better. And what will happen will happen. And so I'm not a big fan of the way he's been acting recently.
He's just getting frustrated, man. He's working hard.
Yeah, but you can't.
He's working hard, and he's got 2 guys you're paying big-time money who are just inconsistent.
Yeah, but
I
you
think
can't.
you're right about Malone creating that perception. You guys remember that press conference where he was all like, I don't know. I need someone else besides Nikola Jokic to fucking play. So that probably supports that notion that you're talking about, Dave. But I also get what Tim's talking about. It's kind of human nature, though, on Jokic's end. But it is a leadership thing.
I don't know if it is his nature. I think he's gone back to a nature where he wasn't good. You know what I mean? I don't know if you all remember. I think you do. The big thing that Coach Malone worked on him with was his like body language.
Yep.
And not being frustrated and not arguing
With
every
the refs,
little thing.
every
Yeah.
call. Yeah.
And then he settled into like a 2-year time span where he didn't do that shit. And we happened to win a championship and he won 2 MVPs. Blah, 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 blah. Now I feel like he's reverted back to that mindset. And maybe that's because he's frustrated, but that doesn't help anything. So I think Jokic is partially to blame as well.
Fair.
You've seen what team we are without him.
Oh, yeah, it gets super frustrating, no doubt. I imagine
you're carrying that same team night in and night out, and those same players are making the same mistakes night in, night out, not giving 100% effort. Everybody at some point is going to hit their boiling point. Doesn't matter your temperament, whatever it is. At some point, when you're on a team and you're working your ass off and other people aren't coming through, it gets very frustrating.
But then everyone hits their boiling point because everyone's
that's
got.
what I'm saying. Everybody hits their boiling point, and Jokic is hitting a point where I'm not saying he can't come back from it, but he's to a point now where he's physically frustrated from all this. And it's probably because, like you said, he had a new baby and he's tired, right? Like we all know, like a tiny baby makes you exhausted. and we didn't even have to go to work and play basketball and travel across the country, right? I'm just saying, I think it's just natural to get frustrated from time to time, even as a leader. It happens.
Yeah, I agree.
But he's got to change it.
But as the leader, you got to get out of it. You got to get out of the rut.
A little leadership slump.
Yeah, well, we're also in a tough stretch. 5 games in 7 nights. That's not fair. Right. The NBA is talking about trying to make this schedule more friendly to players. Then why the hell are you playing 5 games in 7 nights?
Well, they've never been friendly to Denver, and also it's not necessarily the NBA's fault. Like just the location of our professional sports teams makes it hard for us to travel anywhere.
East Coast.
Well, I mean, we're always traveling a long ways, unless you're talking Utah or Phoenix. But even those are long trips in, comparative to like the New York Knicks going to the Brooklyn Nets or you know what I mean? Like our travel is always difficult, and that's part of what you have to pride yourself on. But it also makes it more difficult for teams to come here. And that's a beef I have with this season. We are not protecting our home court.
Right.
That is a big problem, because even in shitty years, you protect your home court. So where are we, Nuggets? Step up and freaking do that. Like you got to protect the home court. Everything else can fall into place. But that's a frustration. But if you look at the most recent sequence, we went out to where were we on the East Coast? Then came back and played the Suns, then had to fly to the Suns, then came back for tonight's game, right? Like you're talking almost 10,000 miles.
It was the last time we had like a 4-game homestand.
Yeah, no. We've had one of the hardest schedules in the NBA. We've played the least amount of home games in the NBA this year.
Well, maybe we're going to get some home games later on, right?
Yeah. So there is hope. Are you guys saying there's hope?
I'm saying there's hope. I'm just saying right now, that's always darkest before the dawn, Dave. And that's where we're at right now. It's a long season. Things can change. Things will work itself out.
We're not a championship caliber team.
We got a nice little 5-game roadie in late January. Got a 3-game homestand in early January.
Well, it must even out at some point, because I know we haven't played a ton of home games.
3-game homestand in February. 3-game homestand in the middle of February, and then 4-game roadie in March. Yeah, man.
It's got to even out at some point. You play half your games on the road, half games at home.
Well, you guys want to drive to Salt Lake City, watch a road match at some point?
The 3 best teams, Thunder, Grizzlies, and Rockets.
Well, the Rockets aren't sustainable.
Right?
I would say the Thunder and Grizz are probably...
I wouldn't mind playing the Rockets.
Right? I think...
First round series.
Yeah. Well, we're not there yet.
We moved down to 7 tonight because the Clippers won.
We're better than the Clippers.
The Lakers moved up to 5.
We're better than the Lakers. Who's 4?
The Mavericks.
We're better than the Mavericks.
8 is the Timberwolves, 9 is the Warriors, 10 Spurs, 11 Suns, 12 Kings, Trailblazers, Jazz.
So 1 and 2 might cause us issues. Everyone else is just...
West isn't that good this year either, huh? I mean, look at it. The Cavaliers, Celtics, Knicks, those are good teams.
Yeah.
The East is better. The East is getting better.
Yeah.
Magic?
Top to bottom, though.
Magic ain't bad. The Bucks are trying to figure it out.
Does their 8 seed have a winning record?
No, you're right. You're right.
Like,
reel it back in, Will.
Yeah, easy, Will. They're top heavy again.
Yeah.
Kid.
Those 3 teams are good, though.
Yeah.
I still believe the Nuggets can play with just about any team in the league.
Yeah.
In a 7-game series.
Yes, in the playoffs.
When it comes to when we're talking playoffs.
When you can rest.
I'm not saying that we're going to go win the NBA championship or even make it to the Western Conference Finals. Whoever we play and whatever seeds we are, we're going to make it difficult for whoever our opponent is, and we can take a round or 2.
Right.
I think we have that experience at the coaching level and at the player level to understand what it takes to be in the playoffs and the different caliber of basketball that we do play. And I still believe, I know we're in a rough patch right now. I do believe come playoff time, we'll still be a team that you're not necessarily going to want to see in the first or second round. Right?
I don't think you want to see us. I do think something's got to happen. Either Julian Strother turns into a 10-point-a-game contributor.
Trade him.
Or we get some people.
Trade him before people realize that he's just going to be meh. Trade him.
I think you could say that about Christian Brown too.
Trade him.
I mean, I
don't want to give up Christian Brown. I enjoy watching him play, and when Strother's on, I enjoy watching him play as well. But
you just like watching Christian Brown's mom.
I wasn't going to say that, but thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I just if you got, I'd rather give up Christian Brown than than MPJ.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Christian Brown doesn't have a big contract or anything, and we're hurting for money, but I'd rather keep MPJ because MPJ is going to be a little bit harder to replace than Christian Brown is.
Right. Yeah.
Even though MPJ is one of the more frustrating players out there, he's getting better every year.
You think you'd be able to find someone who can cut hard,
yeah,
and play defense?
If they just cut and if we just run the Princeton offense. That's all it is cutting.
Backdoor.
I guess what I'm saying is if we can quit worrying about trading MPJ and start looking at some of these young guys.
We didn't lose the Trailblazers. We won 7 games in a row, or 6 games in a row.
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
we're fine.
We get down. The Trailblazers hurt though.
I hate losing to the Blazers.
Yeah,
we get down on ourselves pretty hard.
We got the Pistons tomorrow, guys, at home.
Another back-to-back.
That's a big sports day. Well, you're playing 5 games in 7 nights, Dave.
You're right.
7 p.m.
I'll still be watching CU.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna. Is it on national television? People want to see the Pistons and the Nuggets.
I don't think it's on national television.
That's okay. We'll keep an eye on the phone then.
Come to the dark side.
Join
me on Direct TV.
I might have to.
Oh, you do? Direct TV?
Yeah,
I've had it for a couple of years now.
Thinking about it.
They don't up your payment every year?
They haven't yet, no.
They have the entry rate, and then it goes up. I hope it doesn't.
I'm not on the satellite one. I'm on the there's a little thing. It's like a Fire Stick. You just plug it in and it runs off the internet.
Nice.
Do you guys what do you think about dog insurance or animal insurance?
Shit.
I will tell you this much: as a man who had a large dog who got very sick multiple times, and each time he was sick, I paid at least $1,000 out of pocket. Granted, I obviously am I'm better off financially than I was back then, but
you gotta do it early if you
gotta do it when they're a puppy if you want to do it.
Okay, I like that idea.
I just because Gus got sick. Gus got sick 3 dogs get sick, right? But no, he got sick 3 times, and each time it was over $1,000.
Are vets allowed to deny?
One time was over $2,000.
Right.
And if I'm paying $30 a month or what, I don't know. I don't think they're allowed. I think certain vets. You
gotta ask yourself what that investment is for you.
Yeah.
How it means.
Well, can they deny insurance?
I don't know that much.
Like in America, you can be denied your insurance.
We care more about dogs than we do people in America. Come on. Where's the homeless commercial with what's her name singing "Arms of an Angel"?
What do you mean? What's her name?
Sarah McLachlan.
Sarah McLachlan. Thank you.
Also, thank you. I didn't,
but you get the dogs shaking in the cold and behind fences and chains on. Help the dogs. What do we do with our homeless? Let's shove them further far away from the downtown and center of town.
You gotta clean up those homeless camps.
You gotta get the homeless camps
but
out.
Make sure you adopt a dog.
Dog.
No, it's one of the funniest things I love about humans is let's adopt a dog, but that person living 3 blocks from you who doesn't have a house.
Yeah. Well, he probably has mental health issues.
Yeah.
or drinking problem.
Whatever it might be. Yeah, but the puppies.
We
man.
did I know I've said this before, but in Pearland, we did this Sarah McLachlan, The Arms of the Angel, about crepe myrtles, because people are just topping them. And like when you top a crepe myrtle, like it can kill it and make it sick because you're opening all these. So I convinced my boss, because we were doing Pearland Green. I convinced my boss. I was like, you got to shoot this in black and white and play Sarah McLachlan.
And he did it.
And he did it.
Yeah.
And he's like walking through the trees, and you hear.
It's one of the funniest videos.
That was really freaking funny.
It's good.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
That I think I know the answer to. Does our insurance for the camp cover equine?
No.
Is there equine insurance?
Not that I know of.
So there's dog insurance, but not equine insurance?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, you can get like cat insurance, like insurance on your cat, like house pet insurance.
You can't get equine? What the fuck is going on here?
That's expensive as insurance, man. That'd be a lot. I bet there is, but it's probably
Isn't it all expensive insurance?
I would assume,
I know,
I would assume like those Kentucky Derby.
Oh yeah,
horses,
they're
Oh, yeah,
insured.
they're
Yeah.
insured.
You ain't gonna insure
I'm not gonna insure the damn donkey.
Yeah,
That's
the
for damn
donkey.
sure.
that damn donkey.
That damn thing.
Oh man. All right. What are we looking at? What's our next 10 games? And let's predict what's going on here.
You want me to just go through it and you guys
8-2.
give me some
Already settled. It's 8-2.
we got a nice
We're really good
little,
at this.
little 5-game stretch of some
Okay.
to get kind of right here.
You
Question.
have to tell us
Question.
home or away.
One question.
Yeah.
After our 5 games in 7 nights, do we get like a 3-day break?
No.
No. So then it's
Yeah,
really
so
not.
it's really
5
like
games.
800 games in 3 nights.
So we play the Pistons tomorrow.
Win.
Go to the Jazz on Monday.
Win.
Win.
Play the Hawks at home.
Win.
Play the Spurs at home.
Win.
Win.
Go to San Antonio on January 4th.
Win.
It's at San Antonio.
In San Antonio, back to back. So we play the Spurs at
Win.
home, and then it's the same night. We play them Friday, and then we fly to San Antonio to play them the next night.
Okay. So we're 5-0.
So we got to try to beat San Antonio.
We're
both
winning
those nights.
5 in a row.
Then we get the Celtics at home.
Loss.
Clippers at home.
Win.
That's got to be a win. We've dominated the
Nets
Clippers.
at home.
Win.
2 games in a row against the Mavericks on the 12th and the 14th.
Win-loss.
Luka's out.
Then we got a home game against the Rockets.
He's out for a month, man.
That's awesome.
Those could be 2 wins.
Then we got a
Or
home
they'll
game.
probably play better. They don't have him.
Then we got a home
Right,
game against
that's
the
the problem.
Rockets.
Sorry, Will.
And then we got a little East Coast 2-game roadie against the Heat and the Magic.
Well, we'll lose those. We suck on the East Coast.
All right, so that seemed like 15 games, not 10. And I'm going to say we're going to go 10 over the next 15.
Did you read 15 games?
Yeah. I went into mid-January.
It's just like checking things out. But that's actually our to your. I think what you were trying to do is say like we got a decent schedule coming up here.
Yeah, the next 5-6 games is manageable. Then we got a couple hard games against the Celts, and we don't get well against the Clippers, but we did beat them last time. We've lost twice to the Clippers this year.
Oh, this year. Okay, got you. Sorry.
Which I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
But we've also lost the Trailblazers, and we've lost. What's the other worst team in the league? We only have like 4 wins.
I don't know.
Oh,
We've lost too much.
And Jokic said that too. He's like, we're unpredictable for good and bad.
Right.
He was all like, team that you don't think we're going to play well against, we'll fucking be ready to play. Team that we should beat, we're not ready to play.
Mindset. Yeah, get our heads right.
Yeah, man. I love the Nuggets. All right. Can we just refresh here? It doesn't matter what happens. I'm a Nuggets fan, so I will always love the Nuggets.
Bro, we won a championship, and I'm just forever grateful for that. I
Yeah.
just got to remind myself that.
Yeah, just think about the dark days.
I just think about Jokic and not wasting his potential. That's when I get fucking pissed.
Right there. I get it. We've gone through our hard times. We've paid our dues. should be our time because we've paid our dues.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
So let's stop wasting Jokic's prime, get our heads out of our asses, and play some damn basketball.
You got to get him one more championship.
You got at
Right.
least one.
Got to get one more.
Playing 2 and win
In
one.
the
of
next-
them. Like, come on.
Couple of years.
Get him a couple, and he solidifies as one of the greatest ever.
I think. Well, Durant already called him a top 10
all
ever all time.
Well, because he is, but like they'll go to the championships when they talk about it. What is he in the championships?
He's won more championships than Charles Barkley ever did.
Right, damn right.
And that
Charles
really
Barkley
pisses me
sucked.
off. That what? Charles Barkley did not suck, Tim.
Just poking the bear. Just poking the bear.
The round mound of rebound. You mean my favorite
He a knucklehead.
player growing up? I loved Charles. That's neither here nor there. Are you guys okay? You ready to end this thing?
Yeah,
I
man.
think it's time to wrap it
Are
up.
there any last second thoughts or anything else you want to
This,
throw
I
out?
don't want to talk too long because we're trying to wrap it up. But how we
Okay.
played that Bob Dylan song.
Yeah, the times they
Okay,
are.
so I was like, what song does that remind me of a time hanging out with my bros? And you guys are gonna laugh because you absolutely hated this movie, and you fell asleep. But you always fall asleep.
The Watchmen.
Yes,
Oh God!
because they play it at the start of the movie.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, that must have been what put me to sleep.
I just remember thinking the whole time, God, I'm so glad we didn't see this in IMAX. There'd just be a big blue dick in my face.
Mr. Manhattan with his dick.
Yeah, just a big blue dick flopping around on a regular screen, and we've seen it in IMAX. We'd be like,
I wanted to like The Watchmen so bad because my friend Fuller,
Who loves like graphic
yeah,
comics.
just loved Watchmen, and I just was like, I just wanted to be able to call him and be like, wow, what a great movie.
I fell asleep.
Yeah,
I think I fell asleep at some point in that one.
I made it like halfway through, just couldn't do it. Same with Captain America, though. Same with any movie that starts after 10 p.m.
8.
You name them. 8.
Collateral.
When was the last time we went to a movie together?
I don't know, because every time we do, you fall asleep.
Oh no, fuck that. We need to go to a movie together, like
That would be
like a
enjoyable.
men's movie with like action.
Gladiator? Do you want to go see
Oh
Gladiator?
yes.
You'd fall asleep with Gladiator for
No, I
show,
wouldn't.
bro.
No, because Denzel Washington's in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to pay to see that.
Did you get enough pence to make it through
My man.
My man. I don't know. What other movie could we watch right now?
Mufasa.
That would be bad. Us in a room full of children.
There's not a lot of movies. That's why I'm going to see Bob Dylan.
Did you guys ever let's see, movies out right now. Sonic is saved for
The one I
Emerson.
wanted to see was Top Gun, but I don't think we all saw that together.
No, that was
That's the one I wanted to go see. Which I watched the last 40 minutes of that movie on Christmas because I was drunk and I was like, I want to watch a good scene.
I was watching it the other day on TV.
I think there's a Western out right now, I guess.
No.
It's called Homestead.
Oh, that's not a Western. That's about like
Homesteads.
no.
That would be so boring.
It's like a apocalyptic. It's like a apocalypse movie.
Okay.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypto.
Yeah.
I don't know how we went down this road, but I just when I heard that song when Tim played it, I was like, oh.
Oh man, do you think they're gonna come out with a Matrix 5 yet?
No, just stop making Matrix movies.
When's the next Top Gun coming out? We need to create a movie, is what we need to do.
I really think between the three of us, we could write a bestseller children's novel.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And the best part is you have Children Illustrated. That's what you tell them, but we drop.
The little barley that could.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day the farmer comes.
I'm sure you can't name it that, but call it Little Barley.
Oh no, it's about the beer making process.
No, I understand that.
Okay.
But the little engine that could. Like you got to have like copyright.
Oh, so it'd have to have a different name.
Yeah. But anyways,
Barley can.
Right.
go Nuggets.
Don't be so passive.
Go Nuggets.
Hey, the times are changing, but
They're still the same.
they might be changing.
They might not be.
No, the times are about to be fucking changing, dude.
One way or another, you got to think Calvin Booth's out.
Well, Calvin Booth, ooh, he I don't think he'll ever get work again.
He's Toll Booth Calvin.
I don't know about that. Or Malone's out.
No, you don't get rid of Malone.
Bro.
That dude won you a championship, dude. You can't fire him.
Yeah, you can.
I hope not. Now you're gonna.
You can fire whoever
Jokic
you
would be
want,
absolutely
Timmy.
pissed.
I know. Kroenke doesn't do that much cocaine anymore. He's not going to make that drastic.
No, they don't do that. You're right. They don't do that. Well,
as long as we have this core together, Malone's our coach. If the core starts to get shipped off and we start breaking it up, then Malone might be out. That's how I see it.
that's more than fair.
Godspeed, everybody. Thank you, listener.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. Go Nuggets.
Let's go Nugs.
Go Broncos. Go. See you. Go Texas.